Hello, good morning, happy Tuesday. How you all doing today? We're gonna be continuing to work on the FusionAuth application. And while normally I was spending Tuesdays or maybe the second day of the week working on the anathema side, I was thinking about just sort of like continuing to focus and working on the yew and sort of like FusionAuth in general because, well, the anathema side, I think we need to build a component library. And so I actually created a little like a base version of the component library already, and it's going pretty well. We need to create like an input though, and create something else's. I created a link that actually, like, when you click it, opens up a browser, which is really exciting. So there's a lot of really good things too. Plus, the other thing that I'm noticing is that the sort of like the use case for anathema would be very different in this project. I would imagine that what I would use anathema for would be a more front end for all applications, for like managing all of that stuff as myself. And then the web applications would be, okay, if you're ever going to use this from any device, be it your phone, be it a tablet or a computer, that's when I think web technology really shines and comes in. So that's sort of like my thoughts right now. Is like we have two different modalities. Are you at home? Are you always on your computer? If it's like an admin type thing where I'm just sort of updating stuff, I probably have my computer with me and we can use that. If you're like out and about, we don't know what device you're on, or you're, you just have to log in normally, maybe that's better to be a web app. So anyways, I did reach out to FusionAuth, and they got back to me and said that they have two places for support. They have a Slack group or team, and they also have a what is it called? Good old-fashioned forums. They said the forum is a little bit more busy. The Slack is a little bit quiet, but I asked them which one they prefer me to use, because, like, I don't know, maybe we can help breathe some life into it. They haven't gotten back to me yet. I'll take a look at that later. So we'll probably skip working on the what is this called? The email validation. Actually, you know what? There was one thing I wanted to test still with email validation before we went there, which is if I try to log in, but we have the keep signed in. So if we create an account, we do just something like that. I don't really care about this. First name, you keep me logged in. If I register, we'll go and get this email. Yeah, okay. So that still is not working. So something's going on with the validation link. I'm having trouble with that, but we'll come back to that later. All right, so let's actually move that down to the bottom. Okay, what else do we want to focus on then? As an authenticated user, I want to log out. Well, that's kind of important, and right now, the method I've been using to log out is just logging in to FusionAuth and then invalidating the session of the user that I'm at. That's kind of not really a cool thing, is it? Now, the best way to log out is to have a link for logging out, and where you specifically log out of either that application or all applications. So now if we come over here, I believe I can view. That didn't really do any view. Don't know why view just doesn't show anything at all for me. All right, we'll edit. Oh, because I'm not logged in anymore. Oh, well, that would explain that. Oh, and I lost my FusionAuth. Okay, cool. Yes, I know. Log me in. Stacking, hello. How are you doing today? Okay, so we're logged in. Let's go to our application, EyeAP. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. So here's our logout URL. So if I log out of here, it's going to, I believe it's going to try to log out of this specific app, but I can also have it log out of everything. And right now, I think it logs out of everything on a nice little staycation. Oh, excellent. Staycations are nice. I'm actually going to be going on a non-staycation. I'm going to be heading back to California to visit some family. We have some. I have some family that's been living in France for a long time. First time I'll be able to see them, and like it feels like forever. And then I'm also gonna do some explorations around, see if I can see what remote offices and other stuff are. So it's mostly pleasure, but there's definitely some work in there too. Plus, I have to work for my day job while I'm doing that. But yeah, vacations and staycations are both fun. Okay, so I got that login, which means that I want probably, let's go to our nav. Is this the nav component? No, we have components nav. Oh, wait, this is the CLI. I want you. Okay, so here's our link, and I want a new one. We're gonna have route. Oh, but it was gonna have to be an actual link. So we're gonna have to just do this as an A tag. So an href, throw you in there, and we'll just say log out. Now, I only want to display this though if we're logged in. Remember, always take a staycation after the vacation. I love that so much. What I often do is organize that I return from any kind of vacation where I do any traveling on like a Saturday. And that gives me at minimum all of Sunday. And then if I can get back like the earlier on Saturday, the better, because then I get like the rest of Saturday, I get the rest of Sunday just to sort of decompress and recover. Heck, if I'm really lucky, I can take Monday off. I don't remember what I set up for myself for this one. I think like the cheaps were cheapest on like Wednesdays. So I'm like coming back on Wednesday instead of a Saturday. So yeah, we'll see. Okay. We have log out. Now this will always appear. And right now we're not in a logged in state. So if we come here, we just see this log in, log out. And actually, you know what we probably want to do is switch log in, log out to basically like only show those based upon, well, if we're logged in or logged out. And we can do that in the store. So if I remember correctly, we have an option here off of the main store. Let's impl main store and create a function for ourselves. We'll just call this logged in. We'll have a reference to self and we'll return a Boolean. And then we're just going to return self.user is none. So if you're none, logged in, we're going to do is some. Okay, that should be good enough for us, which means that we do need access to our store. Okay, we get our main store, we do that. We have access to our store now, which means let's move our login down here and we'll wrap this in an if statement. So if we can do if store dot logged in. Okay, so if you're true, then I want you to be here. No, I want the opposite. I keep on doing this. I want the opposite. I want log out to appear here. Else we'll do here. Okay, so let's give this a shot. How is this looking? All right, we have a log out. So it thinks that I'm still authenticated. So let's go ahead and hit our log out. Make sure that, oh no, because we are authenticated, yeah. But you send us back to here, which that's not necessarily what we want, which means we need to go find documentation for logout to redirect us to the correct location, which if I remember correctly is in our API. Is it APIs? Yeah, okay. Hosted backend, logout. Yeah, and here's this. Okay, so we want to go to actually this. App logout, client ID, redirect URI, and then wherever we want to go. Okay, so if we take a look at our URL again. So, this is doing OAuth 2. So I want app logout. Okay, so go to app logout, and then instead of a question mark, that gets replaced by you. So just the client ID, like that. But then we can have question mark, I think it's redirect URI equals, and then wherever we want to send them. So if in this case, I want to send them to probably just the main page. So we can do localhost 8081. Where are we? 8081. Come on. Nope. I'm missing. Okay. You don't need to be up there. Okay, so 8081, log out, and then the rest thing should be good. Okay, so if we save you, there we go. So now we log out. That logs us out and did not send us back here. Why is that? Oh, okay, now we have a login. Let's go ahead and log in. Okay, we are logged in. We can go to our profile. We can see all of our data, and we can go to log out. That sent us back here. It's not where I wanted to go. Logout URL. The application specific logout URL, if not defined, the global value will be used. What is like where we're gonna send people after we log out? I mean, so what if I just go to that? Okay, so all right, so I'm not logged in. Let's go ahead and log in with FusionAuth. We are logged in now. We can go to our profile, and when I log out, back to here. Okay, so that's what I need to do. Xanax, but a different Xanax. No, you're wrong. Goodbye. Okay, so we have the ability to log out, and we can tell when we're logged in or not pretty easily. So that's great. Yeah, that one. There we go. Okay, so we've got that going. Let's buffer close all and just reset this. All right, so we can log out now. All right, what's next? As an unauthenticated user coming from an app, I want to log in. Well, it turns out that that's pretty simple, and I don't even need to implement this, because if we're coming from any kind of application, all we have to do is click on the login button from that application and then tell it to redirect to that specific application. So we're good to go. I don't even need to add that. It's already covered by the previous login. As an authenticated user, I want to purchase a license to use an app. Okay, so this is more of like the course type thing. So let's say you purchase, we purchase a course. Right now, the way I have it set up is Stripe hits a Lambda function. A Lambda function then hits our database and updates the database and say like, hey, you now own this thing. You're now associated with that. You now have access to it. Is that something I want to put inside of FusionAuth? Probably not. Because if I can, I would probably do something else. No, Enigmatic. You are absolutely not sorry. And I'm not sorry for banning you. It's 2 in a row. We had 2 in a row yesterday too. I don't know if that's a sign or something else. So yeah, I don't actually know if anything would be different with this. And I don't know if I would want FusionAuth to sort of be aware of what things that you own. Now, that being said, is that something that FusionAuth sort of claims that it's good at doing? Because like, okay, we have group. Oh yeah, I've logged out. Okay, so we have this idea of groups, but these are groups of like users and permissions inside of FusionAuth. So these would not be good for groups of like, hey, you have access to this application outside of FusionAuth. Okay, makes sense. Now inside of a user, well, I wouldn't want to like do any kind of like role-based thing, I don't think, because those are based upon specific applications too. Oh, but no, because if you purchase like, okay, so like you can be a learner in the LMS, but purchasing a course doesn't change that you're a learner. You're still a learner, but you now own this course. So it doesn't change your role per se. Now we do have this user data. So theoretically, we could update the user data and then have access to like what they own here. Like this is something we can do. And I'm really curious for updating user data. Can I edit this user? Is there no way for me to update the user data after the fact? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't, well, okay. This would be more of a sign that I would need my own front end if I can't like update the user data. Because like, let's imagine that I wanted to put whether or not you as a user owned a course. Let's say you own course ID, I don't know, 5, something like that. I don't think there's anything else that I can do in here for that. I can't edit the user data there. That just locks the account. You don't let me, this is not scrollable. Adding a comment is just literally, where does that even go? History? I mean, I guess, okay, it goes into the history, so I can see that. Wait, source? Is this where I can put data? Data. This is a read-only view of the user in JSON format. Okay, so I can't, and am I missing anything in here? I can't scroll anymore. There's no buttons. Huh, okay. That seems a little bit unfortunate because when I create a user, I can add in something. Huh, okay. Let's go take a look at their documentation. Now I guess let's start with hosted backend. Is there anything I can do about myself, I guess? So I can request info about me. That's great. When I register, yeah, that won't let me set any data, which makes sense. I don't want to necessarily do anything like that. All right, so let's go to users. Now there was the update a user. That's one we can do. So when I update a user, okay, they have both put and patch methods, and this is only allowing, or at least they only want you to use the API key for this. So that makes sense. We have to use this. So this to me would be like a different application that I would use in order to update the user. All right, so please read. When using the patch method, you can either use the same request body documentation that is provided for the put request for backwards compatibility, or you may use either JSON patch or JSON merge patch. I don't actually know if I've ever used either of those. I think I've just done like normal put or patch. When using the patch method with a content type application JSON, the provided request parameters will be merged into the existing object, which makes sense. That's kind of how patch works. This means all parameters are optional when using a patch method, and you only provide the values that you want changed. A null value can be used to remove a value, so you can explicitly set it to make it go away. All right, so let's take a look at this. So obviously, user ID in order to know who we're changing. Okay, so we can change which tenant they're in. We can change which application they're in. Oh, when this value is provided, it will be used to resolve an application-specific email template if you have configured. Oh, so it's actually not to change the application that they're registered to. Okay, good to know. But we're really looking for data. User.data, an object that can hold any information about a user that should be persisted. Please review the limits on data field types as you plan for and build your custom data scheme. Okay. Oh, and then there's more. So user.data, and then we have email. Oh, okay. This field will be used as the email address if no user.email field is found. This field may be modified by advanced registration forms or the API. Setting this field to another account's email address allows that account to, in some cases, access information about this user. Okay, that's good to know. So if I wanted to hit this and basically say like, hey, this user has this specific access to like, this specific APIs. Let's go to our Rapid API. Okay, so we're going to call this set user data. It's going to be let's do a patch. So we're just updating the user and not having to give everything all together. We're going to user, API user, and then I need the user ID. So our specific user ID, let's try our, you know what's interesting? Why does my nothing user have Boba Fett on it? Okay. Nothing decided to purchase a course. Here's our user ID. We're going to do headers, authorization, and third one for today. That's not good. They're out in force today. Okay. API authentication. So for API key authentication, it's just authorization and then the API key. I'm famous to bots, I guess. I mean, I'll take it. So authorization, and then instead of a bearer token, I will need the API key and API keys. Here we go. Okay, so I have two API keys. Now we have the all tenants one, and then we have because I created one for all tenants, right? And then this is the default. I think I created like a special key for this, but let's imagine I wanted to create a key for my like doing CLI type stuff. So description would be it wouldn't be, I mean, we can call this CLI admin. It'll be all tenants for right now. A key designated as a key manager can also be used to create, retrieve, update, and delete other API keys. Okay, so no, not for that. Because like theoretically, if I ever hired somebody to help me out with this, I would be then giving them a key, and then that key wouldn't be able to create more keys. My key would be able to though. Optionally select an IP address, control list to restrict. Oh, cool. Feature disabled. I don't think I can do that. Endpoints. Okay, so here's where what I'm allowed to do. So I want to, for API user, I want to patch, and that's it. That's all this key is allowed to do. So it's our CLI admin key. Duplicate. I guess that's the key, so I could just copy you. I wish that there was a way, because like I really like this in some of the other applications that I've used. There's a copy button where I don't have to view the key in order to copy it into my clipboard. Sometimes, like here, you have to click to reveal it just to see it, which, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Usually, you're not live streaming yourself to the internet, then putting up a VOD onto YouTube, showing the key that you've just exposed to everybody. So I could understand that, you know, they don't really feel the need to hide that. Okay, so here's the key. So we'll have our authorization, throw in the key like that. I'll go to body JSON, and what do we need to send in here? Oh, and did I say patch? I did say patch. Okay, it's going to be user.data. So user, that's an object. Why do you already have 3 items in here? Oh, okay. So what do I care about? I don't care about these other things. I'll have to say what items this user has purchased, right? Because I have multiple courses. So maybe do like purchased courses. You would have to be an array. And maybe the first one would be, I mean, I could do this as an array of objects with ID and name, but it makes more sense to me to do this as like, okay, you purchased course ID 5. Let's imagine I do that. So it's just one course right now. Maybe even we can just do 2 courses where like you purchase 5 and 7. Okay, so if I send you, okay, cool, that worked. I get the user back. And if we come back to our user here, nothing, has no data. 09BF, 09BF. Okay, didn't I, data? Oh, data is showing no items. 200. Okay, well, that was apparently not how to set data. User.data. Oh, you know what? I forgot okay, I did mess that up. So I want you to be data. You are purchased courses. So you're gonna have to be an object. Purchase course IDs, how about? And then you'll be 5 and 7. Okay, let's try this again. What I'm looking back here, I have root user, data, and then no name here. So it didn't like purchase course IDs, but then it has the array. So if we look at user data in here, yeah, okay. That's not what I was expecting at all. I kind of want that to be in an object. Oh, limits on data field types as you plan. Okay, well, if I read the rest of the sentence, I probably would have known what this is. Okay, FusionAuth provides data fields on many types of objects: applications, tenants, groups, users, registrations, and consents. So users is what we're caring about. If you're using the Elasticsearch search engine, user.data, okay, so I'm not worried about that right now. For example, you could create a field contained in user.data called migrated and store a Boolean value. If you later set that field to an object value for any user, you won't be able to search for that user. Other users added after this user will be found, however, as long as they have the correct Boolean value for, okay. Elasticsearch, okay, so I don't really care about Elasticsearch right now. I don't even have that set up on my local version of FusionAuth. Maybe later on we'll care about it. Therefore, you should not change the data type of field stored in these fields across entities. This must be enforced by any software that updates these fields. There is an open GitHub issue to allow FusionAuth to enforce the Elasticsearch schema. Oh, that's actually nice. Maybe like we can eventually put a schema in of our own to say like all users must have this in their data. That would be huge. As far as I know, none of the other user management systems have that kind of feature. This limitation applies only to installations using the Elasticsearch search engine. Okay, so basically, if I'm not using Elasticsearch, we're fine. Dates that are stored in a data field must be valid. Dates such as 000, blah, 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 will fail to parse, for example. Okay. Okay, so one-time password algorithm implemented. I'm not worried about that. Multi-tenancy. Wait, no. This didn't tell me anything about what type of data I can put in. Now I'm more confused. Okay, this is core concepts. Okay, so let's go to users. User data, maybe you have something in here. The user data tab allows you to view the user data for the user. The user data is a key value store that allows you to store arbitrary data about a user. The data is not used by FusionAuth. It is simply stored and returned when the user is retrieved. FusionAuth does not provide a UI for managing user data. It is intended to be used by your application utilizing the API. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, and that's it. Oh, user data looks to me, just looking at this, it looks like user data does not allow us to do any complex types. It looks like there is an array here, but I'm not allowed to do like an object or like JSON data, which is kind of what I was hoping to have. Because if we look at what we put in here, we just have, 0, 1, 2. Well, that's not really great. So it kind of makes me not want to use this for it and just use the database as normal. I don't think I can use, okay, we can't use that. Now, what if I tried an object? What if I tried purchase course IDs? We have something like, I guess, here, I'll do ID 5, get rid of you, do another one, ID 7. Okay, so if I do this, okay, so no, and why do I have ID only on one of these? Because it's unique. Okay, so it's a flat data structure that I'm only allowed to have. So I would not, okay, so I need to convert you to just strings essentially. Like I can do strings, numbers, Booleans, that's kind of it. And nullable, I guess, too. So if like, I would have to do something like that. Wait a second. Why is this what I'm sending? Why I'm sending nothing on here? I clearly have purchased course IDs on the left of this object. So it's key value pair. What is up with that? Yeah, put's not going to change that. It's a string. Oh, why are you gone? So this is purchase course IDs. Okay, maybe now you're a little bit better. There we go. Purchase course IDs like that. If I go back to having an array, it loses the second one because I sent 1 and 2 here and it only gets 1. So it loses data if I send anything other than a flat object. Okay, so I guess another way to sort of consider this is that I could use stringified JSON for this. So let's say you're a string here. So purchase course IDs, and then I want this to be a string. So you're going to be a string of 1, 2, like that. I mean, okay, but it is a string. Now in my customizations lambdas for my Hasura jot populate, can I get access now to that data? So, okay, so we have a jot like that. So, okay, we jot claims, Xer default role, and then I want X. I wonder if there's any limitation for what the keys are for this. I wonder if I can just do whatever I want. So can I just say something like, let me try this. Let me see if we can get out. So user data, okay, purchased. All right, so I probably can get the purchase course IDs out of there like that. Okay, so we'll grab that out of you, and then I'll use you in here where we just say purchase course IDs. All right, did you update? You did. Okay, excellent. So then when I go to log in, that should send this over to Hasura. Let's go ahead and grab my jot. So I will log in here again. Grab my access token. We'll head over to Hasura now. And we'll say I want to be a learner, bear that. Your requested role is not an allowed roles. What role did I request? Default role, public. Allowed roles, public or author. Okay, public or author. That's the problem. So I want author. Okay, there we go. We're good to go here. Now, the question really becomes in here, can I get access to this? So here I have ID 5 to get this name here. So I want to modify, no, permissions for, let's say, select row permissions with a custom checked. I want to see that the ID is in X Hasura allowed IDs. I have this as purchase course ID. So I think I need to update it to use the correct, what is it called? Type, where it's X Hasura dash. So let's try that. So X Hasura purchased courses, let's say. We'll save you. Okay, got a new token. Let's see if this works. So cool stuff, permissions, select, custom checked on ID is in. All right, so can I make my own? Because like if I clicked on this, it actually just, it just does that. So can I just say X and I want you. Okay, X Hasura purchased courses. So if I have access to that, so that means I should be able to get only one of these rows. And right now, if I were to new window open and take a look at this, if I query for cool stuff and I want name, I get all of them with this token. And then what I want to do is change that so that way as soon as I hit save here, I only want to get one of these. Invalid input syntax for type integer. Okay, so it didn't like that. So what's the difference between these? So X Hasura allowed IDs is one of the ones that I'm allowed to do, but that's not what I want. We might need to go into the help for Hasura to find out what our limitations are here for content in the JOT, because that's what I want to get out. I want to get out content from the JOT. And that is security. Not exactly. Okay, where filters or permissions. Okay, it's in permissions. Okay, so we have that. Okay, we want row permissions. Row permissions are powerful Boolean expressions that help you restrict access to database rows for each database operation and user role. For example, on a select operation utilizing the X Hasura user ID session variable, you can match the user ID in the row with the row permission. Okay, so that's what it wanted me to do. Row level permissions can be defined using static values and columns included. Okay, yes, that's what I want to do. Okay, so simple is great. Permissions with session variables. Session variables have been resolved from authentication tokens by either your authentication webhook or by Hasura engine using the JOT configuration are available for constructing row level permissions. This is what I want. For example, to allow a user to access only products which they've added, you can use the X Hasura user ID session variable to compare against the added by user ID column in the products table. Okay, is that array session variables and permission rules. Support for using session variables for array operators like in, not in, okay, is available. Okay, when you use array operators, it will automatically open an array for your values. If your session variable is already an array, you can click the, okay. Permissions with relationships or nested objects. So we've done that, but okay. So I think that I'm limited by what type of data I'm allowed to put into this. So we see it doesn't scroll back. X Hasura allowed IDs. So this is what I want. So if I copy you back to here and we say, I want you, and then I need to make this an array, right? Like a true array. So I can do a JSON parse, purchase course IDs, put that in there. Okay. You're just upset because I don't have a semicolon? Expected an assignment or function call instead saw an expression. Oh, yeah, no, wait. I've seen semicolon. Does whatever they're using not know how to use destructuring? I wonder if also that's a problem. Yeah, let's try this. Okay, so we're going to go with X Hasura allowed IDs. So I'm going to save you. Back to you. I have to change you. Okay. Schema introspection query failed. Claims key. Claims not found. Ooh. Okay, so you failed. Okay, so if I debug you, is there a way for me to see the debug logs? Okay, I have event log. Oh, look at that. There were error messages when it was attempting to send emails. We can actually look at that. An error occurred while sending an email to this user. The following is a value to null or missing. Free marker.col. Okay, so something in the HTML. Strange, but I have no idea why that would happen. 1046, just a few minutes ago. Lambda invocation exception, syntax error, unexpected token U in JSON at position 0. Undefined. Usually that means undefined. But you know what we can do? I can put a console log in here because I don't care about exposing this to all of you. So if we just do that, I'm really worried, and this makes me wonder, they don't let me see what version of Node that's running or that works with, and it makes me a little bit concerned that it's an older version of Node that doesn't have destructuring in it. That is a concern. Enough so that I'm gonna add it to my list. Okay, 2 questions for us. Now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and log out and back in again. And before I even go anywhere else, we should be able to see now in reports, I think. No, system, event log. Oh, okay, I think that's my console log. Yes, okay, so you failed to pull out. So I'm guessing that I'm not allowed to use destructuring, or that's not really how to access the user data. Maybe that's another thing altogether. Okay, I can actually be logged into multiple things at the same time, or multiple windows here. So let's go, we'll send you over to Lambda. Okay, so let's give a label here too. So we'll just say purchase course IDs. I did spell it correctly there. Okay, so then this is gonna be, I'm in a function. Even if I wasn't in a function, that wouldn't matter. You don't like const? Do I have to use var? I have to use var? Wow, that's a thing. Okay, I have no errors, no warnings in here anymore. So if we save you, let's log out, log back in again. Purchase course, ID undefined. It's still undefined. Okay, fine. If you're gonna be undefined like that, let's just log out the user.data. Let's see what you are. Okay, we have something here. Oh, right, wrong user. Oh, of course. This user, what user was it? Oh, is that the big difference? This user doesn't, okay. So the email will be, we'll just call this one a@b.com. Okay, and I think I know what the password is. So if I log out, well, that was silly of me forgetting that I did all this stuff, like put in the ID that you have on the wrong friggin' token that I'm then using. And apparently I've forgotten what password I used for that one. So we have to fix that. Let's see, I want to, wait, can I not just reset the password myself? Oh, because I'm logged out. Okay, so a@b.com, I can require password change, but that doesn't make it so that they have a new okay, interesting. Okay, so you don't give me a new email for that, so I need to try to log, but I don't know what their password is. That is something that I actually do like to have from something like Auth0 or any place else. Like, I would like the ability to, as a super admin, just set their password. And it is something that I've had to do for, like, as a sysadmin plenty of times. It's like, okay, fine, I'll just set your password for you and then give you your password so you can log in and change it. I don't see that as an option here. Okay, so in that case, what I'm gonna do is just go back to the original plan. We'll go to my main account here and we'll set some ID. So I can't change my password there either. Okay, so that's, I'm gonna guess that makes sense. Okay, so update my account to now have these purchase courses. Perfect. So then that means back into here. Okay, there we go. And then we should be able to see in system event log. Okay, so it is, okay, data.purchase course IDs. Fine, okay. So I get that. I shouldn't need to console log you anymore. And then we're gonna throw you in here and JSON parse that to make it a real thing. I don't think I need debug enabled anymore, so we're gonna save you. And one last time of logging out, logging in again. I hope one last time. This is kind of painful. Okay, Xhasura star claims parsing text failed, expected string but encountered array. Okay, so no, not allowed to make that a real array. Good to know. So you cannot be JSON parsed. You have to be that thing. All right. You know what I'm gonna do to make this easier on myself? We're gonna go into our login page. No, it was nav. And okay, so if logged in, show logout, no matter what, always have the login link. And then I could just log in again. It'll just instantly happen, and that will get me a new jot, which makes things much faster. I should have done that earlier. Okay, there we go. Okay, you're happy now. So if we go back to look at our data, permissions, author select, row select with custom checked, Xasura allowed IDs in that. It doesn't have anything else. Okay, that's fine. All right, so that's what we're doing. So back to you. Malformed array literal. So I'm not allowed to make it a real array, but you're a stringified array or JSON stringified array. Did I not manually create the JSON properly? So like if I do JSON.stringify an array of like 1 and 2. Yeah, it's just that. 1, 2 like that. And when I inserted you, 1 and 2, which looks like that. Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. Which means now you had something, you mentioned something about in. Support for using session variables for array operators like in, not in, has any keys, has all keys, is available in versions 1.0.0, beta 3, and above. Oh, what version am I on? Oh, 2.4.02. We're perfectly fine. Custard, hello. How are you doing today? It's going pretty well. We're currently working on playing around with FusionAuth and Hasura, and an ad started, so you won't be able to hear that. Oh, okay. When you use array operators such as like in the permissions builder in Hasura console, it will automatically open an array for your values. If your session variable already has an array, you can click to remove the brackets and set your session variable in its place. Whoa, brackets like that? Like a string? Oh, okay. That's very different. Okay, I was not expecting them not. Okay, so it doesn't want me to make these an array. It wants me to do some weird thing with curly brackets. Oh, different applications. Okay, so what I need to do, how do I even want to do this? I have this as an array right now because that's what makes sense. So I probably want to JSON parse this to give me access to it. Come on, just go over here. I forgot how to move without like using HJKL. Okay, so purchase course IDs, we do that. Then I guess I could do a map on this, but it probably makes more sense to do a reduce. And because we're on var, it's perfectly fine. So we'll just do no autocomplete. That's sad too. Equals, okay. So we're gonna reduce, if I remember correctly, we get, what do we get? We get the accumulator first. So our accumulator and next, and then I can set what we start with. So we're gonna start with the string open curly bracket, which is great. What version of Node are we on? Because that's not cool to not even have arrow functions. I'm concerned. Okay, so we get the accumulator next. The accumulator is going to start with this. So all I really want to do is take each item that we're going to have here and append it to there. So we're just going to return the accumulator plus next. That might end up being a number. So I'm going to toString it just in case, just to make sure it is what I think that it's supposed to be. So if I do that, then by the end of this, we should have exactly what we want. And then we'll do, just to be explicit, because I don't remember how this works, plus closing curly bracket like that. And now now the purchase course ID should be what we expect it to be. Okay, no errors. Excellent. So now if I do my query, I get nothing. Because it's 1 and 2, right? 1 and 2. We don't have anything with 1 and... Oh, I do. I have this one. So it should be getting 1. So for cool stuff, if I'm an author, I'm doing a select, row permissions. Okay, so I want where the ID is in Xasura allowed IDs. And that's no different than what I have right now. I don't think I have to do anything weird like that, right? Oh no, it does not like that at all. Okay, so no. I want another window open here. Cool stuff. Huh. Now if I put in something like this, 1, 2, didn't like that. Oh, because it wants each of these to be like 1, 2 like that, which does look like a normal array. This XSR allowed IDs is confusing me. Do you have better documentation? No. 1 and 2 like that. Okay, so just in case I had the wrong token in here, let's just reset you. Okay. Yeah, and so then it's just nothing. So permission filter user ID in XSR allowed IDs. That's what I'm doing, right? So ID in is the only one I have. Yeah, so all columns are available for me to get. Okay, so like nothing else is really weird for that. Okay, so if I take you, let's go to the documentation, see if there's anything else we could find about this. That's the exact same documentation that we had. I wonder if this is a mistake and it just should be a string of numbers instead of like this bracket notation like that. We can try that. So we'll just make an empty string. I'll just do that. That's not really changing anything besides removing those brackets. Okay, no errors. Malformed array literal 1, 2. Oh, did I need a comma in there? Oh, maybe I didn't have a comma and it thought it was 12 or something. That could be it. So when I add you in, so I add next to string and then I have to say plus a comma like that. Okay. Hopefully it's okay with a trailing comma. Otherwise we'll have to remove that at the very end, but not that big of a deal. And let's also go back to having an open curly bracket and a closed curly bracket. Okay, let's try this again. Malformed array literal. Is it because I have the final trailing comma on it? Let's see. How can I remove that final trailing comma? I don't want to hard code this in right now. I want to actually like figure out how I would do that. If I remember correctly, I get the index as the next one, and then the full array as the fourth one. And so I can just say, okay, plus if the index, okay, so if array.length, if the array.length is, if the array.length minus 1 is equal to index, then we're at the end, so just return nothing. Otherwise, return a comma. Okay, that should be better. Malformed array literal. Wait, that's all I sent. I only sent that. No, that's not what I wanted. Why would you do such a thing to me? I mean, it's me who did it to me, so. Okay, so I thought I was doing, okay, so return ACC plus that. All right, cool. I don't think it did this properly. I think I somehow lost. So all I have now is a closing comma and a closing bracket. I somehow lost everything else, which is a bit odd. So I think I need to break this out. So if we do let's say comma. So we put in a comma like that. Can't do comma, can't do let, have to do var. ACC equals next to string plus comma. So that's going to be either an empty string or that. If it's true, it's an empty string. Otherwise, it's you. And I do next ACC plus. Okay, so then let's do this one at a time just in case you're weird. So we'll do results equals. Actually, we just do ACC equals. Accumulator equals that. And then return ACC plus comma. Okay, maybe that would be better. I mean, I do sort of normally enjoy this sort of like this side of development where you're doing tons of little like tiny changes, see how things are working, experiment with it, try to find out, sort of figuring things out, and it looks good. Okay, so that worked. I now get 1 and 2. So in my row permissions that row select. Okay, so this is now working the way we expect it to. And I'm getting, what do I own? So it's my user. I own 1 and 2, and that's it. So if I want to change this to I own 5 and 7. Okay, so now you own 5 and 7. Nothing here should change. And oh, I need to get a new token. Okay, let's try it again. So now I should only get one thing. There we go. That's what we wanted. Now that we have that working, I would love to know if we're limited to having just like Hasura allowed IDs, or if I can do anything else. Like, does it have to be this? Could I do something like X, like Brooks, and just say something like 1? So that would give us 1, right? And then the other one is maybe it has to be Hasura, right? So Hasura, cool, and that would be 2, let's say. So we can experiment with both of those. I'll leave that open so I can come back and take a look at that later. Let's get a new token. Hasura dash claims parsing text failed, expected string but encountered number. Okay, good to know. So it can't actually, I can't hard code these as like 1 and 2. You need to be strings. Good to know. Okay, so everything should still work. I still get this one here because we're using the other one of these. So let's go ahead, open up data here, and we're gonna say permissions, author select. Now you don't automatically find the other possible ones here, right? So we have to go look at that. So let's try X Brooks first. So if I try X Brooks, save you save. Invalid input syntax for type integer. Okay, so it doesn't like that. And when I use this, yeah, it's still in a string here like that. Sort of like, it sort of knows what it wants. Okay, let's try the Hasura one to sort of like see if it knows about X-Hasura. This should be 2 if it works. Malformed array literal 2. Oh, hey, I think it's working. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So you would be like this. So instead of Hasura cool, what I would do is Hasura purchased course IDs and then make you the purchased course IDs like that. I'll come in here later. Let's go ahead and re-log out. Nope, I didn't mean to log out. I meant to log in again. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now nothing's changed there. So I want to update our data here and say for cool stuff permissions, select, row select permissions. Now you don't auto detect. So this doesn't auto detect what variables are available to me, which is, I mean, it makes sense, but it's too bad. But if I come back to here, we copy this entire thing, paste you in there, save you, come back to here, and then we should just get that final one. Invalid input syntax for type integer, Hasura purchased course IDs. I thought that was working. Oh, if I do that, oh, I see. I have to trick it. I have to trick it into allowing me to do that. And then it works as we expect. And so if I then want to say, hey, you have purchased course 1. And so I just append course 1. So we're going to get 1 and then that UUID. So I patch you, and then all I have to do is just immediately hit you again. Nope, you have to log out because, so that is the only concern. I guess it's not really a concern. That is the only consideration, is that then you need to log out and back in order to get this. So if you purchase it, you don't get access to it right away, which is enough of a reason for me to think, no, I don't want to do this. We can do that, but I don't want to. Okay, so in summary, we can store data inside of FusionAuth and get access to that data in the Lambda functions that we have access to. We can use that data to then put into the JOT, and if you're using something like Hasura, that will be able to read from that JOT. Hasura itself has some limitations for what that data needs to look like, but if it's your own custom system, then whatever your own limitations are is what you've got. Let's see, everything seems to be fine after that. Let's go back and look at a README. So this is, we definitely do not want to do this. In fact, we'll delete it. We don't want to do this. It stays in the database. As an authenticated user with a license, I want to use an app. Well, so this is not something that FusionAuth is sort of going to be part of. That would be part of the database and that, because we have to check what applications you have access to. So we're perfectly fine with that. As an admin, I want to see a list of users. I can't do this because I need to have access to my token, and to get the list of users, you need the API key instead, and I don't have that. So again, that's a CLI thing. As an admin, I want to assign a user to an app. So again, I can do this, but only in a CLI. So I couldn't do this in the web. As an admin, I want to assign a user to multiple apps. Again, CLI only. As an admin, I want to remove a user from an app. Okay. As an authenticated user, I want to disable my account. So disable my own account. So that would be the equivalent of like archiving yourself. Can we do that? Is that something that FusionAuth would allow us to do? So we're in the hosted backend, log in, register, refresh, me, and log out, and that's it. So no, you cannot, because a user, okay, and then we can choose whether or not hard or soft deleted. Soft deleted users are marked as inactive but not deleted. So basically a soft delete is a deactivate, but as we can see, that is an API key. So cannot do that in web. As an authenticated user, I want to update my account details. All right, so what can I do? So login, register. So that just registers yourself for an app. Nothing like that. Okay, so then the user update, I believe, is under an API token. So I would need to do this with a backend. So if I want to add more information to your user, see whatever choice there. Okay, so we have create a user, retrieve user, update a user is this. If you specify a new password for the user, it will be encrypted and stored. Okay, start forgot password workflow. Ooh, is just unlocked, public. So anybody could do that. That's nice. Change user password, unlocked. Okay, how does this work? This API is used to change the user's password. And is this one of the thing that would update my account details? So this is the closest that I can get to updating account details. It's like, here, you can change your password. This API may be used as the second part of the forgot password workflow. For example, after the user is sent an email that contains a link to a web form that allows them to update the password, you will call this API with the changed password ID and their updated password. If the changed password ID is valid, then the user's password will be updated. This API may also be used separately from the forgot password workflow by omitting the changed password ID and using the login ID instead. By default, the changed password ID is valid for 10 minutes after it was generated, okay? This usage is generally intended to be part of an email workflow and does not require authentication. The changed password ID used on this API request have been previously generated by the start. Oh, okay. So basically, you want to change your password. I have to give you a changed password ID unless I'm doing the other one. And the new password. Oh, the current password and the new password. Oh, so if I'm just doing this without the changed password ID, I give you the current password. But is there a page in FusionAuth that allows you to do that, or is that just me? Like if I go to applications, no. Okay, so all of the change stuff is handled by me. So I have to do that myself. Good to know. Okay, cool. That being said, that wasn't necessarily what we were looking at. I want to update my account details. Like the only details, like it's changing your name, doing all that stuff is going to be an API key call. And so we need a database for that, or I need to do some special fun stuff with Hasura to make that happen. But it probably means like actually some kind of like server to work with, which kind of sucks. I want to disable a user is, again, you can't disable yourself. So it's the other thing. And then as an authenticated user, I need to confirm that my email is valid when creating an account. So it's attempting to do this, but it's failing for some reason. And we're not 100% sure why, although now we found the logs. This could potentially help. So we can see event logs. Now, if I were to, let's clear out our emails. If I were to, let's say, A@b.com. I don't think you're verified, right? You're unverified. So if I ask you to resend the email verification, first off, we don't get it. Second, an error occurred while sending an email. Email template name, FusionAuth default two-factor authentication method removed. That's the wrong email template to use. Why are you attempting to use that email template? Is it a tenant thing? Since it's not password, it's email. Email verification settings. Verification template. Use my custom email template. Verification complete template. Disable the feature, verification strategy, unverified behavior. Okay, that must have been what the problem was. So if I now go and say, hey user, anb.com, resend, there we go. Email verification complete. Excellent. Okay. So if you come back to you, you're now verified. Okay, that's good. Now, if I register a new user for the first time, does this work? Because this was not working for us last time. All right, we have no emails. Perfect. Create an account, please. Sure, keep me signed in. Okay, so here's our new account. The request contains an invalid or expired verification ID. So I don't know what that's about. Is that because in this app for email, okay, email verification, we have no templates selected, registration, verify registration, verification template. Okay, doing that. But I don't. Okay, yeah, then it just doesn't make any sense to me. Why is the ID not valid? But the tenant settings work for the same template. Yes, that's weird. I might have to ask them offline, and if I figure out the answer, then we can chat about it. But until then, we've pretty much answered. We've gone through all the questions. We know how to get this stuff done. This would need to be done in an application that has access to the API token, which generally means I would not want to use a web app for it. Diablo, hello. How are you doing today? Diablo, I assume you want Kitty Cat. I'm okay with grabbing him. Let me push what we've changed up in the meantime. All right, what have we done? We have I guess like able to get exactly what we want from able to get exactly what we want from Hasura. Okay, pushing it up. I will go grab Kato and then we'll chat about what's coming up next. So I will be right back. All right. So I should have moved my camera up so you could actually see my full face. Hey Zobi, how you doing? No? You don't want to hang out? Do you want to hang out the window? That is a solid maybe for him. Take a look at that. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, we're pretty much done with the web side of understanding FusionAuth. And I have a really good idea of how I would want to use it and how it would work for us. And so I'm pretty happy with it. There's still a lot of questions that I have about FusionAuth before I would fully recommend it. But I have access to the some FusionAuth staff, so I'll be able to hopefully get some of those answers. Now coming up next, I would love to continue playing with Anathema, and I have a CLI. I want to build like a component library for that. But I think maybe before then, there's some little one-off little courses, one-off little other things I want to do. I want to update the example code, if not like a full video for Axum, because apparently it's like completely broken right now unless you tie your versions around, and apparently things have changed. So I want to update. I want to like do another video for the Axum course. I want to do like a few videos here and there for just little stuff I have. So basically I just have some like one-off plans, and then we'll figure out the next sort of project or longer thing to do, and then move on to that. So that's what's going to happen. No more streams are planned for the rest of this week. And then starting essentially tomorrow, I'll be out of town, traveling, visiting my parents, visiting my family, doing some like sort of business work movements and arounds also. So I don't know what my schedule is going to be over the next 2 weeks. So keep tuned on Discord. If I end up doing any streams, or if I have like any just sort of weird planned streams, I will post there. Skimmis, hello. How are you doing today? It's weird how standard those sliding up down windows and those blinds are in Denver. My apartment had the same ones, and a friend's apartment too. Yes, I hate them. I've had 3 windows now where the strings inside of those sliding windows, which I don't want to slide it for you right now because that will scare Zilby. But the strings break on them, and then they just sort of like, it's terrible. I do not like them at all. I would much rather have something that I can just shift back and forth. I have never lived in a place that had them break as often as they do here, which just sucks. So yeah, anyways, your friend's apartment has those too, you think. He's in Denver. He hates them. Yeah, I know. And if you own a house, you know this pain, but window coverings, surprisingly expensive, shockingly expensive. I am not a fan. If it was me, I would probably just get curtains to go around in front of it, and I can just like make those myself essentially. But that is neither here nor there. That is a completely different topic, and we probably won't go over that on stream unless I somehow like do a, hey, let's build something outside of coding stream so I can write this as a tax deductible thing. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a couple of those someday. So with that, I don't think I have any other announcements. As a recap really quickly, I'll be gone for 2 weeks. I'll still be available on Discord, obviously, and I will be hoping to record some stuff and or stream some things. But my schedule is going to be wonky, and I don't actually know how much free time I'm really going to have, especially since I still am committed to working for my day job during the time that I'm traveling. So any streams that happen in free time after that. So with that, I will see you all next time, whenever that is. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week, and bye.